Alright, so how you doing today, my little froggy friend?
Very good.
That's good. You're gonna like this one today. Yeah, I think I read this book when I was a little kid. And so I was all familiar to me. It's weird when you activate those things in your brain. I'll mention that when we start this.
Perfect.
Let me just get this over here a little bit. And so when you need to talk, just feel free to get closer to this, you little froggy. Yeah, there we go. That's nice. You see that?
Perfect.
So what I like about this is I imagine there's just a whole bunch of little kids right now just running into the living rooms everywhere, just getting ready. Like, oh, it's story time with Albert. It's like, yeah, and they all got their fake cigarettes like I got, because it's part of the club.
All across the world.
All across the world right now, especially in Europe, because we're doing this for Europe. Mostly. Right now, kids that are out there, they're just, they're doing the protests and they're smashing stuff. But in Europe, it's about bedtime for them, so the protests are winding down. And this countdown really relaxes me. I almost feel like I should do a stream that's just a countdown over and over. And everyone can just relax. It's good, Put it on the Asmir channel, get famous. This be so much better than like 90% of the Asmir that's there.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Hey, welcome kids. How you doing? It's not a story time, and boy, have we got a treat for you. Look at this. Oh, it's already on the screen too, but yeah, I got it, a copy right here. And I'm telling you, it's so strange, because I read this book as a kid, and I had not looked at it again since I was a kid. And I recognized some of the pictures in it. It's like it fired some of those synapses in my brain. So as you're getting to see this for the first time, all you kids out there, then you're gonna someday look at it when you're old and kind of beat up like I am, and your dreams are dead. And then you're gonna look at Curious George, you're gonna go, oh, I remember when I had hope. So we're gonna get right to it. I'm gonna put on a little storybook music for us. And make sure it's going. Yeah, I can hear it. Curious George, he takes a job. So have you had any jobs there, Mr. Tiny?
Yes.
Good. Oh, is he gonna become a janitor? Well, he's he's examining his options, as the college graduates say. But I don't think he has much choice, because he's just, he's a little monkey. Now, this is him, George. And as you see, he lived in the zoo. See that? And I just want to say, like, this makes me feel almost a little disappointed that he doesn't have the cap all the time. Look at that cute little cap. Is that not amazing? The whole price of the book is worth it just to get a picture of a monkey in that cap. Now, this is here he is. See him there? This is George, he lives in the zoo. He was a good little monkey, but always very curious, and he wanted to find out what's going on outside the zoo. And as you can see, this is almost like my apartment, except he's got a ball. I don't have a ball, but I do have a chair, and I got a table that low because I got a mattress on the floor. So my table's really low. See him? There he is. Look at him, Mr. Tiny. He's cute. And Vatican Treasury says, just gonna be a good monkey. No job. And Krusty Inferno says, finally caught a stream, missed the last few. That's all right. You know, the thing about streams is it's all about just kind of getting the option to hang out together. None of them are really crucial, but in a way they're all sort of crucial for the people there at the moment, but outside that bubble, nah, it's all right. The audiobooks are there for posterity. But you see here, look at this. Look what Curious George does. Because the guy was working the zoo, look at him. He's just, there he is. Just thinking, I'm going to smoke my pipe over here by the fence, and my one giant key in my pocket is totally safe. So you think. Remember when they used to, like, carry stuff in those things? People used to go down the street. Instead of a briefcase, they'd have that, I think, way back in the day. Uh-oh, look. Where's my giant key? And look at the giant keys in the lock. Because Curious George, he's gone. That's it. You know, the book could almost end there, right, Mr. Tiny? All right. What's funny is when I keep talking to Mr. Tiny, I keep looking at the wall back here. Like, I'm just worried that we're going to get someone's watching us, right? Because I am doing a puppet show alone in an apartment. And that's a bad look. I feel social services could come in even though I don't even have a kid here. But I got all you kids out there, right? So now look, where they're looking. Where was George? Where was he? Look at that. They're looking for him everywhere. I can't believe they're trying to get that George. But look at this. This is the cute part here. See Mr. Crocodile. He's got that smiling face like, okay, you say there's a tasty monkey running around? I think this might be Crocodile's lucky day. Because that'd be fresh, warm and fresh. But kids, we don't want him to eat Curious George. We want Curious George to go have adventure. And it looks like our lucky day. So he crashed at the elephant's place for a little bit. And if anyone has got an overweight friend, it's like that. You just find him and you crash and then he goes. Well, look, now he's outside in the world. See that? He's all the way out through the turnstile, and he's thinking, what should I do? Maybe I could find my friend, the one with the yellow hat. Because I don't know why he's always with that guy. I think the guy in the yellow hat found him. What do you think, Mr. Tiny? Was it that? The guy in the yellow hat found him? Do you remember?
I think he owns the man in the yellow hat.
So maybe he was renting him out to the zoo. Maybe the guy in the yellow hat owns a lot of animals, and he's just renting them out all over the place, and that's how he earns a living. Hey, you cannot piss in another man's cornflakes. If that's how they make a living, that's how they make a living. But see, up the street, you get dachshund. This dachshund is like patrol, kind of like German patrol, huh? The dachshund. Because look, dachshund immediately goes, you are outside of your labor area. You're outside of your camp. And trees him. But monkey gets away. Look at that. Go for it, George. We love you. Jump onto that bus. And dachshund's not long for this world, running out into the street like that. I have a feeling that this was Dachshund's last day. So you could have called this book Dachshund's Last Day. And Curious George would have been just a side character in it. Now, good damn it. Sorry, kids, it's hard to do a storybook with a cigarette. You're going to find that out someday. Now look at that. Look at all that Curious George has to go, all the things he can do. All the things that are going on before protests happened. It's like downtown Seattle before it all got screwed up. Oh, and Shocked About it says, social services if you're lucky. FBI if not so much. That is a good point. Yeah. But you know, I'm just a lonely man with a puppet. That's not illegal yet. Look at all the things he could do. And I hope that there's people in Europe who are watching this, because we're doing this also so people over in Europe can join in the fun. Join in the limited fun of page turning a storybook. Now, here he goes. Now, this is where it starts getting interesting because you see, remember, Curious George wants to get a job. Although he doesn't know that yet. Right now, he's just breaking into random places. So here he is. Look at this. There he is. He's going in to the kitchen entrance. And that cat is like, so it's that easy breaking in to places? I just thought, I didn't know you could just do that. So from that day forward, there was no milk safe for blocks and blocks because that cat started just welcoming himself in there. Now look, he goes right for the spaghetti. There he goes. And look, Cat is following him in there. So Cat is complicit, but at the same time, Cat's just learning. So it could be a whole series of books of Cat going to, different places and doing his own crimes. But right now, George wants a big bite of that spaghetti. Oh, look at that. Do you have spaghetti in Germany, Mr. Tiny?
We do.
Oh, good. Do they call it something different? Das Spaghettial or something?
No.
No. Now, here we go. Oh, Vatican Treasury. Yes, we do. You do have spaghetti in there. Now, what kind of sauce do you like on your spaghetti? Do you like the marinara type sauces, the tomato, or do you like the Alfredo type sauces, the white sauces? You kids in Germany, let me know, because that will help determine whether or not I ever visit Germany. Actually, was in Germany for several hours one time. Look at that. The chef came back in and he found out there's a monkey eating all the long strand of pasta. Look at that. I mean, that is crazy. You know, the chef needs to cut up that pasta before he cooks it, break it up. You could climb up the side of a building with that pasta. And then here, look at this. This is why I never eat in restaurants in foreign countries. Right? This is normal to them. Ratatouille, see, remember, it happened in France with the rats, the mice. They were doing that too. But to them, it's fine. Oh, Krusty Inferno asked, doesn't curiosity kill cats? Yeah, that cat was a little too curious. However, look at Cat down there. Cat making a break for it with a noodle. So, maybe this cat, it's got 8 lives left after that curiosity. And it's got a pasta dinner, which is kind of what Albert has. Except, yeah, Kraft macaroni and cheese is still pasta. So now he had a friend to walk around hand in hand with, you see him up there. And then they got on public transportation. See, this all, I'm learning so much about Europe, that what's going on there. Now, the reason that they're doing this, the guy's taking a monkey on a subway, or sorry, the metro. Oh, okay, so we got some sauces here from Germany here. Okay, Spagball, the bolognese, greater than carbonara, greater than plain tomato. Certified German taste rating. Fantastic, thank you. I like bolognese too, right? Do you do meatballs? I love it with the giant meatballs, the giant comically sized meatballs that are like the size of softballs. I love those. Mr. Tiny's from Germany. I could have just asked him, but you know what? I like to also get collective information from you out there. Now look at this. The guy put him on the metro in order to go take him get a job because he knew an elevated guy who was looking for a window washer, and many had died so far, as you will see. Look at this. He just gives it to him right away. No discussion of wages, benefits, nothing. Just like, here, start washing windows. We'll talk payment later. And look, we should all be this happy when we get a job of some kind. Shouldn't we? Look at that. He's just like, wow, bucket squeegee. You know, this is this weird kind of like socialist fantasy that everyone just wants to be a cog and they want to be happy like that. But you see, they had lost so many of the window washers, because this totally freaks me out. Because, like, he's there. It's like the Uncharted video game. He's up there, and he's got to hop to these ones to wash them. You make that hop. How do you know that there's not a bunch of dust or smoke on there that you're going to slip and you go all the way down? Because he's not like a cat, not like magically rubber. Oh, Shockbow asked, does George get health insurance by working there? The answer is clearly no. I don't think they want to cover someone that they're making do that. I think what they're saying is, you know what, we're going to pay you under the table cash. There's no tax, but you take your chances up there. And Vatican Treasury says, I make the best meatballs. Nice. That is good. You know, I guess meatballs are not keto friendly. I'm going to try the keto, I think, in October. And I think meatballs, you put bread in them? Don't you, Mr. Frog? What do you do with, is that like something, do you know?
Breadcrumbs.
Breadcrumbs, all right. Oh, Vatican Treasury says, George has a private dental plan. It's very private. It's so private, no one in the story knows about it. Now look, now he can't help but be a bit of a, you know, a voyeur here. There's a lot of stuff that's going on in these windows. There's a man that kind of looks like a drug sleep, like he's ODing. But then up there, it's look at that, Screaming European Offspring, which if I ever have a ska band, I'm going to call it that. And then he also sees that gay gentlemen work together to make a place look nice with red and green, which I guess are colors that they would like, maybe. See that? Now the two gentlemen leave. Uh-oh. They left, and George is coming in because he knows that he could just wreck this place. It's already got the materials in it. And Vatican Treasury says spaghetti is not keto friendly. But meatballs, maybe you could do meatballs with just the meat. I don't know. What do you think, Mr. Tiny? If you did meatballs with just the meat, would they all stay together? Or do you need the breadcrumbs?
Then it is just a hamburg stick.
Yeah, but the hamburger ball, might be nice. I kind of think of meatballs as hamburger balls. So, well, anyhow, getting back to the story here. Look what our monkey friend does here. And this is the one that I remember from a kid. He completely does the most amazing thing to this whole apartment. Animal. Look, he did an animal with a broom. He made a broom, chair horse ladder thing. I don't know what the hell's under there. He made it into a giraffe. Look at that. Now, they can't have that. They got to catch this wild animal that's doing them favors for interior decorating. But look at that flexibility. Is that how it is in Europe? That guys can do that? They can actually do that? I cannot do that. I do not know of one American male who can do that. But see a guy with a pipe, see him up there, looking out the door? He's kind of like, I wonder if this is my opportunity to suddenly become a little more extroverted. Well, let's see. Oh, yeah. Look at that. They're all chasing him down the fire escape. Now, I want to do that. I love running down fire escapes. But I don't know if you can see Pipe Guy up there. It's like, yeah. I guess I have friends now. Is this how you do friends? You run with them down the thing? But if you see Curious George here. Oh, wait, I got it. Okay. See him there? He's hanging. It's too much of a drop. he actually breaks his leg. I'm not kidding you. You'll see in the pages. He actually drops so hard he breaks his leg. And that just shows you that if he had dropped from that window washing height, he would have been just a big, talk about spaghetti bolognese. Would have been monkey bolognese. Now here he is. He's going into the ambulance. And these are probably, I think these might be Germans that are taking him. So why don't you read these voices, Mr. Tiny? Can you see that? You can? Why don't you read the voices?
He got what he deserved.
Yeah, that sounds good in German. Say that with a German accent again. I love that.
He got what he deserved.
Yeah.
Making the apartment into a jungle. Indeed. I told him he would get into trouble. He was too curious.
Nice. It's fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Tiny. Look at that. See, his leg was all the way busted. And there he is. And the doctor's like, what the hell? What are you, out of the zoo for like 20 minutes and you break your leg? But I think that's just kind of how I think of German healthcare. He's doing that. I don't know. Maybe it's just from movies. Oh, let's see. Well, that's about 60K in US, in American health bills. Yeah, 60,000 if you're lucky from this. See, I should tell you a little bit about the American healthcare system. If this happens and you do not have health insurance, you will never have a substantial income the rest of your life. You will be paying off, that's about 100K. The whole thing, the hospital stay for a few days. What is it, like $8,000 a day? It's almost funny and it's almost sad. But what it really is tragic. However, what can you do, right? You just gotta not break your leg. Now, you see here, man with the orange hat. Look at that. He's getting a newspaper, but at the same time, you can see that he's protecting himself from pickpockets, because that's the way you do it in big cities. You always put your hand over your ass like that. I mean, there's other reasons, but mostly for the wallet. And look, isn't that a cute phone booth they have over in Europe? Look at that. That is so nice. It's like a little pink box. Okay, shocked about. Cool. I stayed for a week in a hospital and paid about 136 euros for a week in a hospital. Damn it. You guys have it good. A week in a hospital and that's it. We have no more personal savings ever. But yeah, God, I gotta get European citizenship. How do I do this? Is there anyone in Finland who wants to marry Albert? I don't even care your gender. I'm really doing it to switch citizenship. And I know that the answer to that is no, but hey, I tried, right? What is streaming for, if not to solicit weddings from other countries to change your citizenship? I know it's also for video games, but okay. So we got a couple comments here. If you plan on breaking your leg, come to Germany. Will do. Any of the countries from Germany on north. See, Norway, Finland especially. The image of German healthcare, monkeys in traction. Now that's mean, little box. Come on, kids. We want to be nice, right? I wonder if the storybook music is still going. Huh, it's not. So let me get that going again. We can't hear it because we cannot turn up the speakers. We will get feedback. Vatican Treasury says, I don't think Shocked Bow would be happy if I married you. Yeah, you know what? I don't want to play favorites there. I can either marry all of you or none of you. Now, kids, I don't want you to be like this someday. I don't want you to be the one in the hospital bed thinking it had all started out so nicely. If only you'd been so curious, you could have had a lot of fun Now it was too late. You see how it says now it was too late? Don't ever be in a hospital bed thinking that someday. I mean, you will, right? You're older. But now look at this. Leaves them alone. Like, nurses, like, do not do drugs. Do not do any fun chemicals here. Well, so, this is really kind of a lesson I want you kids to learn. And you too, Mr. Tiny. I want you to learn here that he was running around everywhere, and what happened? He broke his leg. You could just have adventures in your apartment with chemicals. You get the right chemical, you get to fly, you get to dance, you get to spin on your head, you get to float, you get to do so many things, and you just keep the door locked and don't answer it if anyone knocks. Because they will if you start playing your bass guitar at like 2 a.m, which I know from experience because I was an idiot a couple of times. Look at that. They found him happy and drugged out, and that's how I want to be found someday in my apartment. Happy, smile on my face, flat on my back, and going into the afterlife. Not that there's an afterlife. But what happens at the end of a drug trip instead, Mr. Tiny? You wake up at the bottom of a bathtub with the shower running. Always. I don't know why this is something that always happens at the end of every drug trip. Sometimes you imagine that there are people there laughing and shouting and judging you, but they're usually not there. You look at that, Mr. Tiny. See that? Has that ever happened to you, Mr. Tiny? Have you ever gone on a drug trip and woken up at the bottom of a bathtub with the shower running and imaginary people shouting at you?
Very many.
Okay, I thought so. And you know what, kids out there, not that you should do drugs, but if you have a favorite, you can let us know what it is. Because we might, it's nice to have that information for personal, to just know things. And I want to see, this book should have been called Curious George Takes a Drug. It should have been. They could have just jumped right to that. And then Shockbaugh says, Mr. Tiny, please stay away from ether. I don't know, Mr. Tiny on ether, that'd be a good time. I think I'd have to stream it, wouldn't I, Mr. Tiny? Have you ever done ether, Mr. Tiny?
Very many.
Wow. See, I gotta have people hook me up with the ether. I wonder if you can get that on Amazon. Huh.
From my butcher, I get it.
From your butcher? Wow. I know you can get dust off from Amazon. You can huff it. Little Box says my favorite drug is life. Is that what they call like that one pill that's like blue and yellow? Because that'd be a great nickname for a drug. Call it life. And you take it and you go, oh yeah, I'm living now. I'm living large. And then you get behind the wheel. And then you can drive up a wall. Or you think you can. Now it's goodbye. Thank you for being in our hospital. We love you, little monkey. And look where they're going. See that? They're going right to a movie studio. Now, this is where the book starts making me sad. Look at that. It predicts people in the future, this book, because it was written a long time ago. It predicts a future where people getting famous for no reason. Just because you run around a city and you break your leg, now suddenly we want you in a movie. All he did was run around the city like an idiot and do drugs, break his leg. Only broke his leg before the drugs. But you see, that's no good. Right now he's a movie star. Well, Albert, I'm picking up cigarette butts behind the dollar safe. Now, if I actually buy cigarettes if I need them. Oh, look at that. Monkey movie. I don't know why he gets all this just from being an idiot for a little while. But there's one thing I do love here. Look at this. Everyone's going to go see the movie, right? Everyone's going to go see the movie, but look, it lets them know. I like this. Great documentary. Which I think is cute, because I think all movies should do that. Like, I think it should be like, great fictional film up here if this is... Just because I think you can get 50% more ticket sales, because people are that stupid. Just say, this theater contains a great movie. Come see it. And people just walk in like that. What's your favorite movie, Mr. Tiny?
The List.
Yeah. Oh, the list is the list of movies, or is the list the name of a movie?
You know, The List.
Schindler's List?
Yes, but I like to call The List.
Oh, yeah. People who really like the movie Schindler's List, they just call it The List. It's like a little club. Do you just watch it like about 2/3 through and then stop the movie?
Yes,
I heard some people do that because they don't like the ending.
it's not good.
Yeah, you can do the same with Downfall, except it's never... Yeah.
Or Air Bud.
You can do the same with Air Bud, right before the dog loses his leg. But actually, he does that later in life off screen. Look it up. Poor Air Bud. Now, here they are, watching the movie. And I want Mr. Tiny to read this little thing at the end here.
Now the lights went out and the picture started. This is George, the voice began. He lived in the jungle. He was a good little monkey. He had only one fault. He was too curious.
Too curious. I would like to say, though, that what I kind of hope happens for this right here is that everyone's in there, right? And the movie's going, right? They're watching the movie. And there's George in the movie. And he sees the hat, see? And just the whole movie, they gotta watch him screaming and attacking the hat. It's one shot of him tearing up the hat for like 2 hours. You know, with monkey urine all over the camera lens, the whole works. It's like little beads of monkey urine on the camera lens. You see, and because it should be harder to become a movie star than what he did, right? I mean, to become a YouTube celebrity, you only have to be shameless, and there is a lot of that in the world. But I don't know if you could finally see down there. See down there? George finally learned how to flip someone off. Look at he's doing that. He's like, hey, sit and spin there, yellow hat. Or maybe someone tricked him into thinking it means something nice, like Rick and Morty episode, where they go to the planet and Rick already taught him that middle finger means hello or good, I love you, or I like you all, thank you, greetings. And there it is, the end. Look at that, what a monkey can do. Damn. Anyhow, I'd like to thank you for joining us for the Storytime for Kids. And now you kids get to go outside and play kickball and hula hoop. One nice look at the comments. Is George going to star in some adult video to pay for the hospital bill? Look, I just wouldn't want to probe into George's personal life. Because like we say, when you live in America, sometimes you have to make ends meet. M-E-A-T. So you could read between the lines on that. But I do think he's a little young. I mean, they could still show it on Netflix, but like in normal video channels, he's too young and too small for that. Vatican Treasury says this is just Voltaire's Candide. That is wonderful, because yes, it is. It is like he's just insanely optimistic no matter what happens. But in reality, there is a great deal of tragedy surrounding him. I like that idea, that this is really just a Candide for kids. Because in the end, we must tend our own garden. And if there's a hat in it, we could kind of mount it and get angry at it and tear it apart. No, I don't think Candide ended quite like that. I think it had the garden line, though. Shocked Bow says this is also why 60% of the theater filled with men in blue uniforms. Oh my God, look at that. This is like, I don't know if you've seen the version of 1984, the movie that was made in 1984 with John Hurt and Richard Burton. But when they had the little hate fests where they're screaming at Goldstein on the screen and they're all wearing blue, I think that once Curious George attacks that hat, they all start screaming, murderer, murderer, kill him, because George is the new Goldstein. And if you're unfamiliar with 1984 and the whole Goldstein thing and the hate rallies, now's a good time to look it up because I think it's explaining a great deal of the world. And that's for you kids. You should always, believe me, I know you like listening to music like Bobby Brown and Flock of Seagulls. But one of the things you should listen to all the time is the audiobook for 1984 unabridged, because you'll never look at the world the same way again. It is the ultimate red pill, 1984. And Shocked Bow is going to come forward here with another 1984 reference. 2 + 2 = 1 sad monkey. It is quite so. Anyhow, folks, thank you so much for joining us. Story time for kids. And now you get to go out and play. Thank you. And thank you for joining me, Mr. Tiny. That was wonderful.
Of course.
Everyone, I'll see you. See you Monday night, which is actually tomorrow night. You're going to help me solve a puzzle game. But this one's not going to have all the smut that the one on Tuesday had. Bye-bye.